Patriots, welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. I hope you're all doing well and having a great week. And as you can see, I'm on the road again. Driving seems to be my middle name. And when I'm driving, that means I'm thinking. And as I often do, depending where I'm at, I'm running scenarios through my head and asking myself a lot of what if questions. What would I do in certain situations? And in part of my drive, going in both directions, I have to drive through two cities, and depending on the timing of when I hit the cities, traffic is horrible, and oftentimes I'm in 3 or 4 lanes of completely dead stop traffic. Sometimes for minutes, and sometimes for up to an hour, unless it's a holiday, and then it's hours. So a few moments ago, I was stopped in traffic. Wasn't rolling at all, moving, just sitting at a dead stop. And an aircraft flew by. And I had a what if moment. So I'm going to share it with you, and you can play along and ask yourself what you would do. And I'll ask some questions, and you can answer them for yourself. So I'm sitting in traffic, dead stop, not moving. An aircraft flies by, and I ask myself, what if that aircraft just started falling out of the sky? It wasn't far away. There's an airport nearby, and the aircraft starts falling from the sky, and it gets everyone's attention, and it proceeds to crash maybe a half mile or mile away. It's not a threat to the highway, but it's obviously, it would be somewhat of a shock to most, of course, being in America. There would be a degree of people who probably pull their phones out and try to record it, of course. It's their moment of stardom and fame to post it on the internet. Sadly, that's where our society is at today. So the aircraft crashes, and the traffic's still sitting still, and after a couple minutes, you realize your vehicle has died, and you're sitting in the traffic with a dead vehicle, and you notice people starting to get out of their cars, holding their phones in their hands with a puzzled look on their face. And you look at your phone, and your phone's dead. Now, for many of you, you've already given thought to what just happened. Either past training, reading, post-apocalyptic books, scenarios, or you've read my books where I talk about electromagnetic pulse or coronal mass ejection. But either way, you believe you know what has caused it, and you know the ramifications of what happens when an event like this occurs. So, what would you do? You're surrounded by 500, 1,000, 5,000 total strangers who are now going to start getting frustrated because they're sitting on the interstate in dead stop traffic with a phone that won't work. Many of them are in dress clothes, uncomfortable shoes, and they're not going to be as prepared as you. Hopefully, this is the case. So, what would be, once you figure out your vehicle's dead, your phone's dead, and what it's the likely cause, what is going to be one of your first steps? You've got to make a decision. Are you going to ditch your car and immediately seek separation from all these strangers? Okay? You're about an hour from sundown. It will be dark soon, and within the hour, people are going to start getting cold. It's about 50 degrees outside, and folks are going to start getting colder. They may or may not have a coat in their car, and what are you going to do? So hopefully you've already got plans in place for something of this nature, and you immediately start sanitizing your car the best that you can to not leave any important documents and so forth in your car. You may want to write a note and stick it on your dashboard with your name, but I would take my important documents from the glove box. I wouldn't leave them behind. And hopefully you have a bag in your car, whether it's a day bag, a ready bag, a bug out bag, whatever you want to carry it. Hopefully based on your daily routine and the distance you are from home, you've packed your bag accordingly. So you're going to grab your bag. If need be, you're going to change out your shoes to a pair of comfortable and warm walking shoes that you should have in your vehicle as well as part of your planning, and a coat if need be. You may have one on, or you may have one as part of your gear packed. But once you grab your bag and start to depart your car, what direction are you going to head in? You may head towards home. You immediately need to seek distance to get away from all these people, right? And like in the case I was in, there's cement barriers between the highway, so you're not going to be able to cross over into traffic that is stopped from the opposite direction. So depending where you are, I was in somewhat of a city area, so you're going to have more populace coming out of stores and parking areas in this direction as well. So what direction are you planning to head in? Have you given thought to it, and what is your plan? Have you talked it over with your family? Does anyone even know where you are at this time of day? Do you have a plan in place that someone, a loved one, or someone in your buddy system is going to know where you're at that time and the direction that you will be walking in? Have you built a plan that shows a primary and alternate, and maybe a third route that maybe you would be walking towards home, or where you're planning on heading to? And as I've mentioned to you before on numerous occasions and in other platforms, have you even driven the routes you plan to walk? Are you crossing any bridges? It's 50 degrees outside, and the temperature is dropping. What if you get to a bridge and a community is already preparing and to keep riffraff from transiting through their area? have the bridge blocked off? Are you prepared to wade through or go across water? Or are you planning to walk extra miles to find another bridge to cross the water? Have you thought about it? Have you built that into your plan? There's so many elements to this, but it's something you need to seriously give consideration to, because all of us spend a certain amount of time in a vehicle away from home, daily or a couple times a week maybe, or on weekends. I know several of us travel in our jobs, maybe through airports or driving on highways. So have you mentally stopped and just walked through somewhat of a plan, what if'd it, and then identified shortfalls, vulnerabilities of things that could go wrong, and then how are you going to mitigate those things to get around them and keep moving forward? All right. What are you willing to leave behind? If you've got to walk 10, 15 miles to get home, or in my case, the scenario I'm talking about, I was at about the 110 mile point of 240 miles home. What am I willing to leave behind in a vehicle most likely to never see again? Because without a doubt, as people get cold, people get hungry, thirsty, they're going to start breaking into vehicles looking for resources or a place to get warm and sleep, right? So these are things you're going to have to carry. And are you physically prepared to carry these items? How much do you walk in your day, and how much do you walk in your week? When you add the stress element and the cold element to this, your physical limitations are going to decrease as to what you mentally thought you could do and what you're going to be able to do. And what if you thought you had a flashlight in your bag and you find it and you haven't recharged it in a year, or your batteries are dead and now you don't have any light to walk at night? The power's out, it's pitch dark, and I can tell you it's a whole lot different driving at night than it is walking at night. Okay, what you're used to seeing when you drive at night, and then when you go start walking it, everything looks different. So what are you going to now do? Are you going to just stop and bed down till the sun comes up? Do you have what you need to stay warm? Whether it's this scenario or any scenario where you might be stranded in your vehicle. Can you stay warm through freezing temperatures to keep yourself alive until you can make a decision to either move or someone comes and rescues you? All right, and in this scenario, the likelihood that someone's going to rescue you is pretty slim. Right? You may live 10 miles away, but there might be someone you know who lives 2 miles away, and you just need to get to their house, at least to get warm, right? So, without your GPS, can you get to their house? Oh, that sounds silly. Well, can you tell me right off the top of your head the street name and the house number where they live? Most likely not, because most people are GPS dependent. So I know some folks who keep a portable fold-up wagon in their vehicle so they can throw their gear in it and they can pull the wagon, which is awesome, especially as we age. It certainly helps. There's more pros to that than cons, but I can tell you one con to that plan is if you're by yourself, it's a whole lot different than if you're with two people. Because as people get hungry and people get cold, and cold and you're pulling a wagon that's got resources in it, you're likely and potentially going to become a target for something to keep them warm, something to eat, and something to drink. So you can what if every scenario, and that's what you need to do. Yeah, what's the likelihood of it happening? It may be slim to very, very minor of a possibility. But if you've lived life long enough, one thing you've probably learned is sometimes the likeliest of possibilities happens. They come true. And that's when you're having your oh crap moment. And I should have, I wish I would have, I should have listened. I didn't. I put it off. I blew it off. I knew I should have, and I just didn't. So now, what are you going to do? All right? There's all kinds of resources that you can plan and put in a bag and keep in your car that are not overly expensive. Ways to keep warm, water, food, fire, again, shelter, things to take care of you in these situations. It's part of preparing, right? Preparing for the what if moment. So, give it some thought, plan for it, have fun with it, but at least do something about it. Okay? So, again, if you are not a member of this channel, please consider subscribing. If you like this information, hit like, leave a comment, share with others who may have interest in this topic, and keep your head on a swivel. Stay safe, stay warm, get your vehicle ready. Main point, get your vehicle ready. And until next time, be blessed.